Hi, welcome to the DIY recording equipment video blog. I'm Peterson Goodwin, and it's the middle of August 2013 in Philadelphia, so it's balmy. And today I'm talking to you about the color project. I wanted to give you an update on this project, let you know it is far from dead. In fact, it's just getting better and better. So for those of you who have not been following along with this project, the color is something that Link Simpson, my design partner, and I conceived about a year and a half ago now. And it is a 500 series module. I'll show you the most recent prototype here. It's a 500 series module for the API Lunchbox or compatible racks, 51X Alliance DIY rack. And it provides you with three smaller modules that allows you to add three different types of distortion or harmonic saturation or any kind of audio manipulation to your signal. Now the idea behind this, the design goal, is we thought about, in this age of digital recording, ultra transparent signal paths, we're all chasing a little bit of that analog color, warmth, whatever you want to call it, that makes stuff kind of sound like a record. And the way most of us go about doing that is by buying this old analog gear like preamps and Neve API preamps, compressors, 1176s, all that stuff that's known for its color. Now that's great. All of that is great gear. But say you've already got 8 preamps and that's all you need for the moment, but you're just chasing that little bit of color, and you don't need to buy a whole new preamp. You don't need any more things that make your microphones louder. And when you buy a preamp, you're not just paying for that part of the circuit that creates that color. You're paying for the power supply and the chassis and the input and output circuitry and the gain circuitry, the phantom power circuitry. I could go on, but that's why it's $1,000 to buy a preamp and not just the cost of parts, So the idea is to isolate those parts of the circuit that provide that little bit of harmonic saturation that we want. So here's an example of what we're calling a color. It's a little 1-inch by 3-inch module, and the different colors do different kinds of harmonic distortion. We have a triode type one, a bit of a tape-ish one, one with a real live Cinemag transformer in it for some transformer saturation. And the idea is those parts are not expensive, and that part of the circuit is just a little part, so why don't we isolate that part, plug it into one module, and then we can, while we're mixing or while we're tracking, we can run our signal through that and go click, click, click. Okay, I want a little tube, I want a little tape, I want a little transformer distortion, and voila, we've got our color for much less money and much less patching than you would if you were to go out and buy a preamp and a compressor and all that. So this project has come a long way from our first prototype about a year ago. It's kind of messy, as first prototypes tend to be, but Link knows what he's doing. I'm getting there, so it's working. And let me show you where we're at. So we've got this most recent prototype, which I built up a couple weeks ago. Really happy. I'm really happy with the sound. The motherboard is almost completely transparent. We're using state-of-the-art input-output integrated circuits so that the motherboard itself is ideally not doing anything to your audio signal. It's just getting you to and from the modules and letting you control them. And so we've got our tape module, our tube module. I don't have the transformer one on me right now. So we were really happy with this. The idea is you've got an input, a dry input control, and volume controls for each color, and then an output trim. And once I started hooking this up and putting it in a rack and started mixing with it, I found I wasn't super happy with the interface of having volume knobs for each color. I found I wanted them all cranked all the time because we are, after all, talking about very subtle distortion. And when we're talking about 2 or 3% harmonic distortion, even if you crank it all the way, that's not that much. So With the new design, I'm taking a serial approach, or instead of sending the dry signal in parallel to all these colors and then mixing them together, I want to look at it like it actually were a preamp and a compressor and a tape machine. Those things don't act on the signal in parallel. It goes in series, one after the other. So I figure let's go back to what we're actually trying to emulate here and adopt the workflow and the sonic artifacts of doing things in series. So the new version that I've got a circuit board layout already sent to the fab house for has an input drive control to allow you to choose how hard you're driving all the stages, and then just simple bypass controls for colors 1, 2, and 3, and then an output trim. So I'm really excited about this. I've been breadboarding it, and I'm much happier with the interface. It's much less fiddling. You know, the idea with this unit is to be the kind of thing that you just patch in and click a couple buttons and think, yes, that sounds like a record. So that's the direction we're headed. So I just wanted to give you this update and let you know this project is far from dead. And hopefully, very soon, the next couple months, I will have a run of kits for early adopters. So please stay tuned and let me know if you're interested in that. And I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments section or on the blog or whatever. I'm always looking for feedback on this. So I appreciate you watching, and hopefully I'll have something for you really soon. Thanks a lot.